Hey guys, and welcome back to another market recap. Now, there's been a lot going on in the RuneScape market recently, and for a change, some of it actually positive. I guess it depends on the way you look at it. But so far in September, we have seen a big rally in the price of many PVM items. Stuff like the Twisted Bow, the Scythe, and many other PVM items have actually started to go up in price fairly rapidly. Obviously, in no way have they recovered as of yet from 2021's giant losses, but it's looking pretty good so far. So as always, I'll be looking at trends in the Oldschool Runescape market, as well as any other interesting specific item changes, and of course my opinion on why I think things are happening. Anyway guys, if you do enjoy my videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn the bell notification on, because for some reason YouTube decided that's what you have to do to get notified for my videos. Anyway guys, let's get started. Now there's definitely no secret that the RuneScape market has not been in a very good state for a while now, but definitely over the last year things have been looking very dire. Pretty much all common items across the board, but more heavily PVM items have been crashing significantly. Sure, there of course has been little ups and downs as any market will have, but right now we're looking at the Twisted Bow here and you can see how dire it looks. Pretty much a straight downward trend ever since February. Pretty much if you look up any item that people use, go back to a year, it just looks like a giant downward trend. Here we have the Scythe going from 800 mil down to almost half of that a year later. We have the Dragon Warhammer just pretty much straight going down. Now personally, one of the largest contributing factors as to why I think we've seen such a drop off on these items is just the lack of new content. Sure, you could argue that most items are destined to continue to fall in price, and that is true. But if we have a look at something like the Dragon Hunter Crossbow, we can see how new content can really positively affect the prices of certain items. So although the last year has been looking pretty negative, finally we have a bit of a change. The Twisted Bow alone in the last week has gone up by about 50 mil, which is significant. Even for the Twisted Bow, just in a single week, that's a lot. We have the Scythe going from around 470 up to 505 or something, so like a 30 or 40 mil increase on that. And if we go ahead and check out a bunch of different highly used PVM items, we can see across the board we are seeing pretty large increases ever since the start of September. The Dragon Warhammer going up about 10% from 28 mil to 31 mil. Zenates in particular are going up a ton recently. Ever since the beginning of September, they've gone from around 9 mil up to around 11 mil. So a 2 mil increase on Zenates just in about a week or two. Very significant. We have the Archer's Ring going up quite a bit recently, going up 10-20% in value on that one. The Dragon Hunter Crossbow is trending upwards, the Dragon Hunter Lance is trending upwards, and pretty much the entire market finally seems to have a bit of positive momentum. So is it just another natural trend of the market, or is something causing this to happen? Well, personally, this looks like there's a little bit more to it than just a random trend in the market. Like, that's a pretty significant increase, and personally, some of the reasons I think this could be happening is, one, we have Rage 3, the Tomb of a Masket, coming out, obviously not that soon, but in the next 3 or 4 months, which is getting closer and closer every day. Also, another factor is the maturing of Dead Man mode. Now, often when Dead Man mode starts, prices will drop a bit because people will sell off their excess items they're not using just to hold in cash. With Dead Man mode progressing and being probably one of the quickest tournaments for players to max in and just progress in, probably more players are hopping back onto the main game already and buying up some items, which could be helping push items upwards. But just to put it in perspective on something like the Tormented Bracelet, it's currently worth around 11.5 mil, and that's bringing us back to almost February levels for the item price. That is a significant change, and if I was to make one guess, I would say probably Rage 3. Now, we don't know that much about Rage 3 as of yet. However, they have mentioned in the live stream, and it has been rumored that magic is going to be one of the stronger combat styles to use, but those are somewhat just rumors, and right now we don't really know what combat equipment is going to be good. But the new rewards are very enticing, some of them are going to be fairly strong, and there is quite a bit of excitement for that content release, which I think realistically could be driving up prices fairly quickly. Now, does that mean I think items like the Twisted Bow are going to go back to 1.2 bill again? Probably not, but I do think it might be enough to push items significantly back up in value, if not only temporarily. Now, while we're on the topic of Rage 3, I've been closely monitoring the Arcane Sigil and the Arcane Spirit Shield, and it looks like it has plateaued at about 140 mil. Now, the Arcane Sigil surged in price because it's actually going to be a requirement for one of the new Rage 3 rewards, one of the few items to be announced that way. So just a few hours after the announcement, it jumped up from, I think, 100 mil all the way up to almost 500 mil. Some people bought it at. Pretty crazy. And while I would expect the Arcane Sigil to shoot back up in price once we get a release date for the Tombs of Masket, I doubt it'll be worth 230 mil or even 500 mil which unfortunately I think some people bought it for. So we have in-market PVM items going upwards. Now, a really interesting way to see if this trend is related to expected new content or new items that are going to be available is to actually have a look at the rare market. Now, if we have a look at some of the third age items, quite a lot of them are significantly losing value over the last month or two specifically. Now, this is not the case on every single third age item, but quite a few of them are decreasing in price. For example, we have the third age bow going from around 1.8 bill down to 1.3 bill, and the third age axe is decreasing in value from 900 mil back in June down to 720 mil. We have the third age Platebody, which has lost a lot of value just in the last couple of months. Third age mage hat losing significant value ever since June. And next up here we have the third age wand. Now this is very interesting because if we look back at an all-time view of the third age wand, it just went ballistic back last summer, and this has been the case on pretty much all third age items. They just jumped up a ton. And one of the main reasons for it, I think, is because there just wasn't much else to put your money in. Over the pandemic, the general player base had the opportunity to play this game a lot more, but with all the gold coming into the game, there wasn't really much to invest your money into. So a lot of players just bought third age and rare items because they usually increase over time. And as they were so rare, this just catapulted the price upwards, but now it's starting to go back down. And there could be a couple reasons for this, but I think the strongest one is just that there's going to be a new raid coming out in the near future. There are going to be some very desirable items coming out that one might consider selling their third age Platebody, their third age wand, or the third age bow, because they're pretty much just cosmetic and people don't use them for actual content, mostly just to show off. Now this may not be the only factor as to why third age items for the most part have been decreasing a lot recently. I believe in an upcoming update, Jagex has mentioned that they want to rework elite clues. Right now, elites are incredibly bad to do. I think their expected values may be worse than hard clues even. So if they do get reworked and third age items become a bit more common from elites, then maybe there will be more population of these items in the game and the prices will go downwards. That's also another fairly significant factor. But I do really like comparing the rare item market to in-market items like the Bandit's Chestplate because I find often they go in completely opposite directions, and to some extent that makes sense. Now, rare items and PVM items are not the only thing going up in price right now. Even commonly used resource items in general have been trending upwards as well. For example, green dragonhide going from 1400 up to 1700 in just a couple weeks. That is very significant. We have dragon bones, which have been trending upwards for a little while now, but another giant surge just in the last couple of weeks. Dragon bones are up to 1700 now. Even the wines of Zamorak have been going up a bit in price. Renar seeds are up a ton, going up 10 or 15% on Renar seeds. Bowstrings are trending upwards, cannonballs, just pretty much the entire market is going up. Now when you see a trend like this that is just so general and applies to pretty much all facets of the Oldschool Runescape market, usually what I'll have a look at are player counts. Now from around February till July, our player counts were dwindling. However, sometime in the middle of July, that trend actually did reverse a bit, and our player count started going back up, obviously with a giant spike just in the last week because of Deadman mode. And with more players coming back to play Oldschool Runescape, that generally has a very positive trend on pretty much all item prices. For example, the amount of players that were botting green dragons probably haven't changed that much in the last 6 months. However, the amount of legitimate players buying dragon bones and green dragonhide, for example, had diminished, but with more legitimate players coming back, that means there's more demand for these items and probably a fairly similar amount of bots, which means the higher demand is pushing up the prices. And of course, new exciting content can't hurt either. So it is really nice seeing for a change some positive momentum in the market. I really hope it does continue at least up till Raids 3, at which point we'll have a bunch of new items to look at and we'll have a new raid that should hopefully be engaging with a lot of existing items, and I'm really excited for it. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for my market analysis for September so far. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you have anything you want to discuss, leave a comment down below. I do read all of it, and of course do appreciate any comments. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you next time. Now before I go here guys, I want to give a massive thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to The Hybrid, Guy Fox, Timothy Chen, Ocelot, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys as always. Also a big shout out to Base Titch, Mexos, NDM001, and YoYoSup89. Appreciate it as always. If you guys are looking for another way to support the channel, becoming a YouTube member is an awesome way to do so. Helps directly fund me, of course. If you become a member, you can become immortalized in all of my future videos, get access to a video release schedule, and of course get a custom role in my Discord server. Thanks a lot guys, and I'll see you next time.